Good morning friends, welcome to my channel. These are all educational videos. You can search my all videos by typing Pravinesh Publication in YouTube. Watch my videos till end. If you like the videos, please press the subscribe button which is given in the corner. Do not forget to press the bell icon so you will get all the updates. Today I am going to explain Standard 8 Science chapter number 5, Coal and Petroleum. Friends, in this generation we are using electricity and transportation. These are two main part of our lifestyle. If there is no electricity, if there is no transportation, then think about how the world is. It stops. The time stops at that time. We'll go back 500 years from this year. So that is now impossible to live without these two important part, that is coal and petroleum. Let us understand this chapter from the textbook. We use various materials for our basic needs. Some of them are found in nature and some have been made by human efforts. Activity 5.1. Make a list of various materials used by us in daily life and classify them as natural and man-made. Friends, I have written some natural and man-made substances: air, jute fibers, water, coal, petrol, sunlight, CNG. These are the natural materials. On the other hand, table, car, bus, TV, plastic, blackboard, pen and paper, these are man-made. Does this list include air, water, soil and minerals? Since all these are obtained from nature, they are called natural resources. Can we use all our natural resources forever? Can air, water and soil be existed by human activities? You have already studied about water in class 7. Is water a limitless resource? In the light of availability of various resources in nature, natural resources can be broadly classified into two kinds. Friends, we know what are natural resources. Resources which are useful to the living organisms for their survival and obtained from the nature are known as natural resources. Friends, these resources, out of these resources, some are existable and some are inexhaustible. Existable means what? We use them, and once it is existed from the nature, we are not supposed to get back these resources in the near future. Inexhaustible natural resources, that means they never existed from the nature. Now from textbook, inexhaustible natural resources, these resources are present in unlimited quantity in nature and are not likely to be existed by human activities. Examples are sunlight and air. Friends, can we say water is existable natural resources? No, water is not existable natural resources. It is in unlimited quantity on the earth. But friends, potable water. What is the meaning of potable water? The water which we drink. On earth, there are two types of water. One is a salty water which is present in the sea, and that is nearly 75% on the earth and 25% soil. So salty water is present in unlimited quantity. But the potable water is very less, that is around about only 1 to 2% of the total water present on the earth. So potable water, that we say as a fresh water that we can consume. So that is maybe existable if we do not judiciously use that water. What is the meaning of judicious use of water? Friends, when we go for the bath, we fill up the tub and then after we start to bath. But if at that time, if the tap of water continuously on, so most of the water will go into the drainage line. So that is not good. When we do toothbrush, so at that time we on the tap while doing toothbrush, that is also not good habit. And we waste most of the water during the day, that is in the daily activities. So we need to save this water because the potable water may be existed from the nature in near future if we do not use it judiciously. Now existable natural resources, The amount of these resources in nature is limited. They can be existed by human activities. Example of these resources are forest, wildlife, minerals, coal, petroleum, natural gas, etc. Activity 5.2 is a group activity. Take some containers, fill them with the popcorn, peanuts, roasted gram, toffees. Divide students into groups of 7 each. Further divide each group into 3 subgroups containing 1, 2 and 4 students. Label them as a first, second and third generation respectively. These subgroup represent the consumers. As population is growing, second and third generations have a larger number of consumers. Put one full container for each group on a table. Ask the consumer of first generation from each group to consume eatables from the containers of their group. Now ask the second generation consumers from each group to do the same. Ask a student to observe carefully the availability of eatables in each container. If something is left in the containers, ask third generation from each group to consume it. Now finally, observe whether all the consumers of the third generations got the eatables or not. Also observe if anything is still left in any of the containers. Let us take this activity by the other way. For example, your mother cooked food. In your family, there are 5 people. You, your mother, father, your grandparents, that is grandfather and grandmother. All 5 people can eat 5 rotis each. So your mother has to make total 25 rotis. Today at 11:30, your mother cooked food and she made 25 rotis, and that is enough for you 5 people. At the same time, suddenly your 2 friends came home and they are very hungry. So you all need to give some portion of your roti to your friends to fulfill their hunger also. But is it fulfilled? 25 rotis fulfilled for the all 7 people? Somewhat less. Now think you are 7 people sitting on a dining table. Another 10 friends of your father came at home and they asked for the food. So now this food, the 25 rotis, is not enough for this all 17 people. They cannot complete their hunger. So friends, by this example we understand if the population increases, so the natural resources, their utilization increases, and after some time they will be existed from the nature, and the next generation they are not supposed to get these natural resources for their utilization. So our generation, we have to use the natural resources judiciously so the further generation can utilize it. Assume that the eatables in the container represent the total availability of an existable natural resources like coal, petroleum or natural gas. Each group may have a different consumption pattern. Are the earlier generations of any group too greedy? It may be that the earlier generation in some groups were concerned about the coming generations and left something for them. In this chapter, we will learn about some existable natural resources like coal, petroleum and natural gas. These were formed from the dead remains of living organisms, that is fossils. These are all known as fossil fuels. Now friends, here we have a new word, that is fossil fuel. Fuel we know that we use in the transportation like petrol, diesel, gas, etc. What is the meaning of fossil? These are the dead and decaying animals and plants. On your screen you can see some images of fossils. Now friends, topic 5.1, coal. You may have seen coal or heard about it. It is as hard as stone and is black in color. Coal is one of the fuels used to cook food. Earlier it was used in railway engines to produce steam to run the engines. It is also used in thermal power plants to produce electricity. Coal is also used as a fuel in various industries. Friends, now coal. Coal is very important. It is used to generate electricity. It is used to run the engines of a railway. So that is very important for us. Now, story of coal. Where do we get coal from and how is it formed? About 300 million years ago, the earth had a dense forest in low-lying wetland areas. Due to natural process like flooding, these forests got buried under the soil. As more soil deposited over them, they were compressed, the temperature also rose as they sank deeper and deeper. Under high pressure and high temperature, dead plants got slowly converted to coal. As coal contains mainly carbon, the slow process of conversion of dead vegetation into coal is called carbonization. Since it was formed from the remains of vegetation, coal is also called a fossil fuel. A coal mine is shown in figure 5.2. Friends, on your screen, you can see a coal mine. When heated in air, coal burns and produces mainly carbon dioxide gas. Coal is produced in industry to get some useful products such as coke, coal tar and coal gas. Friends, when we heat the coal in industry, we get the main three parts of it, that is coke, coal gas and coal tar. Let us understand about these three in detail from the textbook. A. Coke. It is a tough, porous and black substance. It is almost pure form of carbon. Coke is used in the manufacture of steel in the extraction of many metals. B. Coal tar. It is a black, thick liquid with unpleasant smell. It is a mixture of about 200 substances. Products obtained from coal tar are used as a starting material for manufacturing various substances used in everyday life and in industry, like synthetic dyes, drugs, explosives, perfumes, plastics, paints, photographic materials, roofing materials, etc. Interestingly, naphthalene balls used to repel moths and other insects are also obtained from coal tar. These days, bitumen, a petroleum product, is used in place of coal tar for metalling the roads. C. Coal gas. Coal gas is obtained during the processing of coal to get coke. It is used as a fuel in many industries situated near the coal processing plants. Coal gas was used for street lighting for the first time in London in 1810 and in New York around 1820. Nowadays, it is used as a source of heat rather than light. So friends, here we discuss about three main constituents of a coal, that is coke, coal gas and coal tar. They are obtained by the destructive distillation of coal. On your screen, you can see the destructive distillation of coal diagram. Friends, do not need to draw this diagram. This is only for the information. Now friends, types of coal. Friends, according to the carbon content present in the coal as well as moisture present in the coal, they are categorized into different types. They are peat, lignite, bituminous and anthracite. Friends, on your screen, you can see these different types of coal. The first one is a peat. That actually is not a coal. It partially decayed plant matter in swamps and bogs, low heat content. Lignite, that is brown coal, low heat content, low sulfur content, limited supplies in most areas. Next, bituminous, that is soft coal, extensively used as a fuel because of its high heat content and a large supplies, normally has a high sulfur content. Anthracite, that is hard coal, highly desirable fuel because of its high heat content and low sulfur content. Supplies are limited in most areas. Friends, out of these four types of coal, anthracite is considered as a mature form of coal. Why it is known as mature form of coal? Because it is a good quality of coal. When you burn anthracite, it do not leave any smoke or residue. So that's why anthracite is known as mature form of a coal. So friends, today we discuss about the history of coal and types of coal. Now you need to read from the textbook. If you have any doubt, then you can ask me your doubt on my WhatsApp number. My WhatsApp number is 9016487991. Thank you.